was right about the shoe. The shoe was not the same in the picture in court as the shoe pulled from the evidence bag by Trooper Bukake.
And you mentioned you're at the hospital. There was a sneaker. One.
Yes.
Bukake! Bukake!
Woo! Good evening, friends. It's good to see you guys. I hope everyone is doing well. Hold on a second. Yeah, this is get that out of there. It's great to see you guys as always. I'm feeling a little bit better. Still pretty under the weather. Like takes forever, man. You know, like it used to be. I think I'm just getting old. You know, it used to be where, you know, I'm like, all right, I'm sick. I'm going to bed and I'm staying in bed until this is over. And it's usually like in 24 hours or so after I like, you know, I'm just like drinking a bunch of water and juice and soup and sleeping. Before that, I used to like just be NyQuil'd out the whole time, you know. It's like I'll just sleep through this whole thing. That was my attitude. I'll just fucking sleep through this whole thing. But now it seems to drag because like I can't wait to get back to my regular routine, and the stuff that like is in my regular routine these days kind of requires me to be like, all right, let's go. You know what I mean? And when I'm sick, it's not happening, dude. It's not. It's just not happening. So, but today we're gonna go over now, and I also I don't know why I'm doing this to myself either. But again, it's because I'm kind of fired up. So the plan, folks, is to have a late evening, not late night, but late evening petty stream. They have been, oh man. and I figured, like I figure it makes for a good segue into tomorrow's big interview. And I'm really looking forward to that. Tomorrow there's going to be a big interview where Aiden will be interviewing, formal interview, and referred to by Aiden's prestigious and esteemed colleague, JFK. So now this gentleman, I'm seeing a lot of, I'm not going to get too much into it, but I'm seeing a lot of a lot of what seems like walking back. Because why not? I mean, if this Alex person is the receipts, as he says, he is the receipt of these heinous accusations of something so horrible, and in disgusting detail that he gave, of something that our friend Ray from Dallas supposedly allegedly did, that this person is witness to, this very so credible person. And so there's a lot of walking back I'm seeing, and I can't talk about it, but yeah, it's just stuff I've seen behind the scenes. It's just really fucking funny, which I'm sure you'll see. I'm sure you'll get to see. It's just not my place to share it with you, but it's fucking fun stuff, fun shit. Okay. So, but tonight, yeah, we're the Pandora's box has been open. And exactly, Cherry. Pandora's box has been open, and it's beyond me now. I have said many times, like I don't enjoy the fact that these petty streams have been necessary, but they have been, and so I started to get a little discouraged doing them, and I, because there was nothing to go petty about. There was nothing I was feeling petty about, or seeing any reason to even just laugh at, so, but now it's a little different. I mean, you don't just spread rumors like that, man. You don't do that. That's I even, and this is the thing is I even let stuff that's happening to me go. I let stuff like that. I was threatened. I was doxxed. I was it caused a whole bunch of other strange sock account people to threaten me. And I was like, I'm not even going to talk about these guys. But when they go after people that I like, that's when I feel more inclined to do what I do so well. And it's beyond me now, because I have a lot to say, and I have a lot of feelings about it, and I have a lot of opinions of things that I think are very funny too. And so, far be it from me to not give the people what they want, because now I'm all fired up about it. I really can't wait. It's going to be fun. So yeah, I'm thinking after this, a petty stream. After this, I'll take care of Clubber and Drago, and then jump back on here, and then we'll have some Friday night fun. Now, Okay, so stop it. You don't know what Drago needs? You don't know Drago's life, Mary B? And Julie had become a member. Thank you so much. And Sal, Mom, Grammy became a member. So what we're going to do today is we are going to go over Don Lemon's charging documents. Okay? Don Lemon was arrested. He's a former anchor for CNN. He got fired, I think. I don't know. But everything I've ever heard this guy say is not. Listen, I don't have any feelings about the guy one way or the other because I don't have strong feelings about. I don't have strong political opinions. I just don't. It's the kind of thing that I feel like, you know, you just kind of do what you got to do. And you go out and vote if you can, you know, but it makes no sense to be a loud mouth about it unless you're an expert on the subject. I just strongly feel that way. Now I have my opinions, but you know, I'm a layman. You know what I mean? I have my opinions, and I don't try to like. I don't think that. I think that one of the biggest problems is a lot of people are pointing fingers at each other, saying, "This is the way that you need to think," and if you're not thinking this way, then fuck you. You know, and you're and we're talking about opinions on social issues. It's one thing to talk about blatant evidence versus no evidence at all. That's one thing. Like, then you get the right to like call somebody fucking stupid. Sent me an email. Thanks for my streams. Okay, thank you, Miss Scarlett. Remember for 2 months. Like, but with politics, you really, you know, you either feel one way about something or you feel another way about it. And, you know, it's I've never seen conversations that were more of an exercise in futility than or arguments for that matter over politics. Thank you, Genuine. Appreciate it. Wait, we got to do it. Oh my God, we got to do it.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super.
Genuine, thank you. Supporting the petty streams. Yes. Appreciate that. No, and that's what we're going to explore. That's why I put a poll up in community, because listen, dude, obviously there's going to be some political aspects of this conversation, and you're probably going to hear some opinions of mine, and you're going to, you know, probably feel different about me when you hear me express certain opinions. And that's okay. That's the risk that I take by being by platforming myself and my voice, and deliberately making my strongest asset to this, to having this channel being completely forthright and unafraid to express my opinions, without anyone, no one's influence, no one telling me what to do, no one telling me what to say, and damn sure nobody telling me what to think. And if this is going to be on my terms, then I should feel comfortable being able to say my opinions. And you are absolutely free to unsubscribe. You're absolutely free to feel however you feel about me. That's fine too. But I do want to be clear that understand that my opinions are that of someone who is not very well educated. These are opinions of someone who just sees what he sees and assesses it. And with my very own limited, ability for insight on certain subjects that I don't fully understand. So I don't like to talk about things that I don't understand. I think that's one of the most ignorant things that anybody can do. So, but that's my disclaimer, because I think that, when you watch television, when you scroll through social media, when you do any of these things, things are going to be in your face, and you're going to be aware of certain developments and things that people are talking about in the news. And then I'm just the kind of guy that looks at it like, well, okay, from my perspective, it looks like this, but I could be proven wrong. That's just how I look at almost everything when I see something that's politically oriented. So now I am aware of Don Lemon. One thing that I can say is I've never been a fan of Don Lemon, but I've never had any animosity towards him. I just choose not to pay attention. Once I saw what he was doing, I was like, okay, this is not for me. I want a reliable news source. I don't need his opinions, and I don't need him. Like, I felt like he was peddling propaganda at me. It felt like it. And so I just didn't trust hearing him. MC Kasi G just gifted 5 memberships. Especially appointed prosecutor Robert Cosgrove, everybody. Thank you so much, buddy. And so, but mind you, I have not read these charging documents yet. I could very well read them and then be like, this guy didn't do anything wrong. One thing I can assure you is, based on the circumstances, my already opinion of Don Lemon will not affect the facts that my assessment of the facts that we're going to review. This is about 14 pages. That's all I'm going to read. I'm not going to read any experts' opinions on it. None of that shit. We're going to read the charging documents. I'm going to say what I think from what I'm hearing, and that's it. Not that Dina, damn it. Holy fuck with Will, the disclaimers. Disclaimer. Yeah. Look, he's still doing the disclaimers. Still doing the disclaimers. You're still thinking about me, aren't you, Clara? Aren't you, Clara? You're still thinking about me, huh? Huh, sweetheart? You have no idea. You guys are absolutely fantastic, man. Thank you guys for all the support. Now, Cherry, relax. Gabriel never does disclaimers. It's true. Now, all right, let me go ahead and share this. Oh, Mazza. Listen, dude, that was a doozy of a fucking voice message, bro. But I will respond. It's that was a doozy, bro. It caught me off guard. I was like, I'm gonna have to put that one on the burner. Okay, but I got it. Okay, I'm sorry I haven't responded yet. I just don't want you to think that I was blowing you off, bro. I would never do that. But yeah, it was a lot, bro. I wish I'd saved it. Did I? Oh my god. Mazza, can I play it? If if it's saved. Oh no, it's not. It's all gone. Fuck. Damn it. Saved by iPhone technology, sir. Okay. It was really, yeah. It was a lot. When I saw that it was there, I was like, oh shit. I wonder if everything's all right. You know what I mean? And then he just gives. I don't know why that happened. Yeah, he gives me this whole brand new Rocky 5. Like from beginning to end. Like a whole he leaves me a voice message with an entire Rocky 5. Like he's like, hey, Will, you know that everybody who watches the Rocky movies, they think that Rocky 5 is probably the worst one, right? I feel like I know where they went wrong and I could fix it. This went on for like 3.5 minutes. I was invested. Don't get me wrong. I was invested. There was a lot. It was pretty, you know, and I want to respond. I want to have this conversation with Mazza. Holy shit, US Lily just gifted 10 memberships. Amazing. Hey. Yeah, no, I adore Mazza. 1,000%. Like, no, like that shit's cool, dude. When somebody just randomly sends you something like that, like that's fucking like that's nice, dude. It's like getting a letter in the mail back in the day. You know what I mean? It's nice. All right, so I got this Don Lemon thing. I haven't even read this, so I haven't formed any opinions on this yet. I wanted to compare this to Turtle Boy. I saw a lot of people online have been comparing Don Lemon to Turtle Boy, comparing the case, arguing with each other about it. And this is something that I think the average YouTube creator who really cares about views and shit wouldn't fucking touch. But see, the thing about me is I'm fucking retarded. Okay, so this is what I always end up fucking doing. This makes Cherry mad as shit. It's kind of shit that annoys Annie. It's, you know what I mean? But you know, they wouldn't change a thing about me. But I always do this, you know. Oh, look, okay, your subs are going up a little bit. Better throw a grenade at that. That's what I do here. So I'm going to talk about a real touchy subject and people are going to get mad at me. Whatever. Anyway, but regardless, I love you guys no matter how you feel about me after this stream. Okay. All right, so the grand jury charges that in allegations at all times revealed all relevant to this indictment. The city's church, the church is a Christian house of worship located in St. Paul, Minnesota. On the morning of Sunday, January 18th, 2026, at approximately 10:30 a.m., the church's pastor was leading the congregation in a liturgic. I've never fucking even heard that word. I'm not going to even try to read it. Service. In that service, the church's pastor and congregation were then exercising and seeking to exercise the First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of religious worship. A right that is also protected by a federal statute codified at the Title 18 United States Code Section 248. Thank you. Who knew? Member for a month. Look what you made me do. Right on. I don't know what I made you do, but right on. After the service commenced, a group of approximately 20 to 40 agitators, including all of the... Okay, see, I take this with a grain of salt because Turtle Boy has... Don Lemon right now has the advantage with me because if we're doing this right now, if the purpose of this stream is to compare, to get into the comparison of Don Lemon and Turtle Boy, right? If the purpose of this is that, then when I hear words like agitators thrown out there like that, like I think automatically of boots on the ground Karen Reed people being called rabid. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, whoa, hold on. You know, so I immediately take that shit with a grain of salt. Like immediately, I'm like, okay, agitators, come on. You know, I'm not saying they weren't. I'm not saying they weren't agitators, but immediately I'm already standing. I'm kind of side eyeing it. You know what I'm saying? So, and agitators, including all of the defendants named in this indictment, entered the church in a coordinated takeover-style attack and engaged in acts of oppression, intimidation, threats, interference, and physical obstruction alleged herein. Now, never mind. As a result of defendants' conduct, the pastor and congregation were forced to terminate the church's worship service. Congregants fled I don't go to church, so I don't know none of these fucking words. The church building out of fear, but I know my Bible pretty well, which is weird. Of their safety, other congregants took steps to implement an emergency plan, and young children were left to wonder, as one child put it, if their parents were going to die. Wow. Conspiracy against right of religious freedom, place of worship. Okay, so, I mean, let's be honest. Did they not fucking storm a church and scare the shit out of a bunch of people? And if there is a law against that, because you're violating someone's right to worship. You know what I'm saying? Like your right to free speech, I don't necessarily. The question here is, in this charge, does your right to free speech trump, for lack of a better term, someone's right to worship? Which right is more important is the question here. And can that question even be answered? Megan, thank you so much. He covered it. He wasn't protesting. Okay. I mean, I guess that's what we're going to find out. But the problem with that is he's been very vocal and he's been very opinionated. Has he not? And one might say that he is a sympathizer, to say the least, of whoever was storming into that church, right? Now, he is a journalist. He is an independent journalist, no doubt about that. Not questioning that. What I'm saying is, does he get to hide behind being a journalist to deliberately agitate and cheat someone out of their right to worship? That's the big question, right? A whole 6 months. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you. Seychelles. One. And right, the question is, did he participate? Now, let's compare that to, say, the rolling rally. Right? See, the rolling rally isn't comparable because one might say, "Oh my God, well, what about people's people's right to peace, peace in their own home?" TURTLEBOY is an independent journalist, right? But he led this rolling rally, right? Okay, sure. But the thing is like, he didn't storm into a church, so he didn't violate anybody's right to worship. He also gave a public warning, a public, just a public, hey, just letting y'all know this is what we're going to be doing on this date. He sent it to Helena Rafferty, the chief of Canton Police, said this is what we'll be doing. They kept it on public streets. So it doesn't matter whether Aiden Carney, the journalist, led this rolling rally. Aiden Carney, the American tax-paying citizen, exercised his freedom of assembly, his right to freedom of assembly, exercised his right to free speech. That's all he did. Doesn't have to be a journalist to do that. It's purely that simple. Now, the question here is, Don Lemon busted into a church. See what I'm saying? I don't remember Aiden Carney busting into a church. I remember Aiden Carney attending a lacrosse game, a high school lacrosse game, to ask questions in a public place because that was a public place. Spectators are allowed to watch a high school lacrosse game. I can go to the high school down the street and buy a ticket for the football game if I want to. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was worshiping. He wasn't yelling and screaming. He wasn't threatening anybody. There were no kids going, "Mommy, are we going to die?" when Aiden went to a lacrosse game. That Dina, damn it. The question isn't if he participated. It wasn't the church, and he knew his presence would be disruptive. We'll get there. I mean, I just started with this thing. So be patient with me here. Thank you, Dina. Appreciate it. I mean, yeah, I see there's a lot of people with strong feelings about Don Lemon. See, I don't let myself get to that point about people on TV, man. Like, once I see who they are, like, they're people on TV, I do what I encourage everyone else to do with me. I just fucking stop watching them, dude. You know, I just don't give them any mind. I don't fucking pay no fucking attention to Jimmy Kimmel. You know what I'm saying? I don't even pay attention to Tucker Carlson. You know? So don't be judging me and saying, "Oh, he's fucking on the right." No, man. I honestly, right now, I think everything's all fucked up. And I've always been right down the middle for the most part. And it's starting to make a lot of sense right now, isn't it? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The allegations set forth above in paragraphs 1 through 4 of this indictment are realleged and incorporated herein by reference. The object of the conspiracy, beginning on an unknown date Excuse me, guys. Sorry, I'm still getting over this, so I'm gonna cough from time to time. Beginning on an unknown date and continuing to on or about January 18th, 2026, in the state of District of Minnesota, defendants Nakima Valdez Levy Armstrong, Chantil Louisa Allen, William Scott Kelly, Don Renaldo Lemon, Jamil Liddell Lundy, Traherne Jean Cruz, Georgia Elise Fort, and a couple of redacted names here, probably minors, conspired and agreed with one another and with other persons known and unknown to the grand jury to injure, oppress, threaten, and intimidate multiple persons, including the clergy, staff, and congregants. That just made sense to me, of the city's church, in the free exercise and enjoyment of the rights and privileges secured to them by the laws of the United States. And because of such persons having exercised such right, namely exercise of the First Amendment right of the religious freedom at the place of religious worship as secured by Title 18, United States Code Section 248, all in violation of Title 18, United States Code Section 241. Welcome to Logic, Charlie. Thank you. So this is interesting, man. Like, this is really coming down to, like, I wonder if there'll be case law that's cited here, because I'm fascinated by this. I wonder if this has ever happened, because both fall under the First Amendment, right? Both are claiming their First Amendment rights. The alleged victims and the accused, correct? Has that ever happened? Has it been challenged like this in a court of law? Whose First Amendment right matters more? Takes precedence. Or did I have that right the first time? I don't fucking know. So, I mean, that's the whole thing, is you can or you can't. Like, I'm leaning towards no, but is it more like you're just a really low piece of shit asshole if you storm a church? You see what I'm saying? That's what I think this boils down to. Can you fucking, you know what I mean? Can you legally storm a church? Let me see here. Scientology uses this argument in California and Florida a lot. Yeah, this is a this is a touchy subject, man. This is wild. Let's see. Freedom of speech does not give you the unlimited access. They violated the FACE Act. They violated the FACE Act, is what you're saying. Okay. I don't know what that is. Yes, you're saying that again. Thank you. Appreciate it. Religious freedom. Right. Let me ask you guys this. This is where I'm going to lose a lot of you, by the way. But I cannot not bring this up if it just came into my fucking melon. So, what if a bunch of MAGAs stormed a satanic temple? Would we be having this same conversation? Now, in theory, sure, but I don't think anybody saying yeah is being 100% honest with themselves right now. Because in theory, you're right. They're both religions. I mean, they're all religions. Sure. They're all religions. You know what I'm saying? And let's say, you know, you stormed in there and somebody was slaughtering a goat. Right? Just saying. Somebody was slaughtering a goat. Now, we slaughter cattle, we slaughter all kinds of things to eat it, right? You know what I mean? There's been cases like this. There's been cases where they argue whether or not it's okay to sacrifice in the name of religion a goat or something to that effect. Megan, thank you so much. Y'all stormed the Capitol. Who's y'all? I hope you ain't talking to me. I was sitting right fucking here. The fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I'm just looking at chat right now. It's the kind of conversation where you want to you want to see what the room's doing, you know? I agree. I'm not asking what you guys think would happen. I'm asking what you think should happen. Like, are there Christians in here? Are there Christians in here who feel who feel that they would be defending the satanic church if someone stormed in there and interrupted their worship? As long as they weren't actually breaking the law in this worship, breaking any laws. To be fair, keep the conversation simple and fair. If you are a church-going Christian, anointed with the Holy Spirit, and have accepted Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior, would you defend a satanic church under the same circumstances? No. We're not talking about Lemon right now. We'll get back to Lemon. But if there's conversation to be struck here, I'm damn well gonna do it. That's too interesting of a thought for me to not address. I want to see what you all think. I want to hear from you guys. Because the truth is I haven't formed an opinion on that one way or the other. Now I would defend it. I would defend it. Not necessarily, because right now that and that implies that it seems to imply that I am defending this church. I don't think this church absolutely did anything wrong. So in that sense, I'm absolutely defending this church. But the question is whether or not I feel that what these protesters did, quote unquote, what they did was okay or not okay. That's the question. And what Don Lemon did is okay or not okay. Because here's the thing: if Don Lemon just went in there to cover what he was seeing, like, think about it. What would you think of Turtle Boy? Let's say that. Let's say that if Turtle Boy had nothing to do with the rolling rally and he was just covering it, right? He was just an independent journalist, and that's all he was. He was just covering the rolling rally. Somebody else organized it. He had nothing to do with it. He just heard about it and was like, all right, I'm going to get down there with my camera and I'm going to document this, right? Let's say that's the case. How would you feel about Turtle Boy as a journalist if those people walked into a church? If the boots on the ground, all these people walked into a church and Turtle Boy went inside and documented it, said, or he didn't. How would you feel about him as a journalist if he chose not to? If he goes, no, I'm not going in there. No fucking way. Well, what I'm saying is Don Lemon. I agree. I think there was no business going into that church. Like, and that I remember going over, and Cherry's gonna remember this. I remember going over. There's this missing girls case, and bless her heart, she just had a birthday, and she's been missing for years now. I don't even know how many years it's been already. And her name is Summer Wells, and she's missing out of Tennessee. And there were certain YouTube creators that just made an absolute farce out of this missing girl's case. And this one woman, this big floppy titted dumpy dump idiot, she goes into the church where Summer went, Summer's church, and her Sunday school teacher. She sat down next to her Sunday school teacher and her Sunday school teacher's little kid and started filming them, like as if to imply that they had something to do with Summer's disappearance. And it was during a church service. And I was grossed the fuck out. I was just grossed the fuck out. And behavior like this seems to always happen in these high profile missing persons cases. There's this really disgusting corner of YouTube, and they get involved. Yeah, Graham Tam, you're right. TV is smarter than Lemon. I'll give you that. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, and she was filming. I like deliberately, like she went in there to harass. I mean, that's what she went in there to do. And the lady, when you see her, she's like, you know, her jaw's going crazy because she's high on God knows what, some sort of amphetamine, I'm sure. She's just, yeah, one of the worst people I've ever seen. I've covered her extensively. So yeah, I just feel like, yeah, I think it's something really disgusting about storming a church like that. Like, you've got to have some boundaries, dude, you know? But the question is it illegal? That's the question. Is it illegal? And was Don Lemon there just to cover it? Or was he there? Because I'm already going to tell you, if Don Lemon was there solely, if he can prove that he was there solely just to document the case, just to document the storming of the church, then I'm backing Don Lemon on this. If he was there just for that, then yeah. But if he was there to storm the church, I feel like the church was victimized and they have a right to seek some sort of retribution. But Don Lemon, if he was part of that, I don't think that he gets to hide behind being a journalist, is my point. That's where I'm at so far. So far. I don't think he should have stayed outside. No, Connor, I disagree with you on that. That's what I'm saying. Hypothetically speaking, if Aiden had nothing to do with the rolling rally, and then the boots on the ground people hypothetically decided to go into a church, and then he was just covering it as a journalist, what good of a journalist would he be if he did not get the footage? You know, if he didn't go in there and get the best possible footage. He's not the one storming it, but if Don Lemon is part of the whole group organizing this and or you know, knows a role in it and openly supports it, then dude, he's part of the mob, like you're saying, Connor. Then he's part of the mob. That makes him part of the mob. But like I said, if the only way that doesn't make him part of the mob is if he was acting as just an independent journalist and had nothing to do with any of it, but it would be just bad journalism to not take the opportunity and go in there and get the best possible footage. Defendants Armstrong and Allen, together with other persons unknown to the grand jury, organized the operation targeting the church, which they dubbed Operation Pull Up, and promoted it on the internet via Instagram accounts. All defendants met at a shopping center for a pre-op briefing, during which Armstrong and Allen advised their other co-conspirators, including defendants Kelly, Lemon, Lundy, Cruz, Fort, and about the target of their operation, i.e. City's church, and provided instruction on how the operation would be conducted once they arrived to the church. Once at the church, all of the defendants entered the church to conduct a takeover-style attack and engaged in various acts in furtherance of the conspiracy. Now, as soon as you read that, right, the first place your mind goes is, well, he was there when they were organizing the shit in the fucking parking lot of the shopping center before they went. He was part of the planning, right? Immediately I go, well, what if he was just there as a journalist and got permission to document the planning of the storming of the church? That's all I'm saying. I mean, you don't know. Definitely complicit. See, that's going to be up to Minnesota to prove. That's going to be up to Minnesota to prove that he was complicit and he was part of the planning. Right. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm saying what you're looking at right now is Don Lemon has a strong First Amendment argument here, if that's the route he's going. So far, based on what I'm reading. I'm already reading this as objectively as I can, and I'm telling you, I can already spin this as, well, he's just covering it. He was given access as a journalist. Right? Let's see here. Overacts in furtherance of the conspiracy and the to accomplish the object thereof. Defendants Armstrong, Allen, Kelly, Lemon, blank, Lundy, Cruz, Fort, and blank, together with other persons known and unknown to the grand jury, committed various overt acts, including but not limited to the following. Overact 1, on or about January 17th, 2026, defendant Armstrong posted a flyer on 2 Instagram accounts controlled by her, blah, 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 and blah, 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 advertising an anti-ICE action dubbed Operation Pull-Up, telling fellow agitators where to meet to prepare for the operation and exhorting them to be ready to mobilize. ICE refers to immigration and customs enforcement, as if we didn't know. Overt act, they're just being thorough. I'm just being stupid. Overt act number 2, on or about January 17th, 2026, defendant Allen posted a similar flyer on her personal Instagram account at Chantel. Overt act number 3, on the morning of January 18th, 2026, all of the named defendants gathered with approximately 20 to 30 other conspirators for a pre-operation briefing led by defendants Armstrong and Allen at the parking lot of Cub Foods at 1440 University Avenue West, St. Paul, Minnesota, 55104. Overt act number 4. At the pre-operation briefing, defendants Armstrong and Allen advised other co-conspirators, including defendants Kelly, Lemon, Lundy, Cruz, Fort, and blah, 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 about the target of the operation, i.e. City's church, and provided instruction on how the operation would be conducted once they arrived at the church. See, so far, this case against Don seems weak. Against Don Lemon here, this case seems weak. So far, on the morning of January 18th, 2026, defendant Lemon began live streaming on his internet-based show, The Don Lemon Show, where he explained to his audience that he was in Minnesota with an organization that was gearing up for a resistance operation against the federal government's immigration policies, and he took steps to maintain operational secrecy by reminding certain co-conspirators to not disclose the target of the operation, and stepped away momentarily so his mic would not accidentally divulge certain portions of the planning session. Now, that is interesting. It seems all nefarious, and it seems all fucking ominous and shit, right? He turned his mic off. He was like, yo, you don't want to tell him where you're going, dude. Right? So, the interesting thing about that is maybe he is. Maybe he's part of the planning. Maybe he's, who knows? But it just all depends. To build a case against Don Lemon on this, you're going to have to take all of his shit, right? Everything that he said, sound familiar? And make it seem as though he was absolutely part of that planning, unless you have specific evidence that shows him planning. Oh my God. What? Oh, the FACE Act. Let me tell you what the fucking FACE Act is. Hold on. The FACE Act charges are going to be dismissed like every other high-profile case Bondi has brought. Okay. Okay, let's see real quick what the FACE Act actually says. Okay. The Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, commonly called the FACE Act, is a federal criminal statute enacted in 1994 that prohibits using force, threats of force, or physical obstruction to interfere with someone seeking or providing reproductive health services or attending religious worship. It's very important. The law applies equally to abortion clinics, pregnancy resource centers, and churches. Churches. So, again, it prohibits using force, threats, or threats of force or physical obstruction to interfere with someone seeking or providing religious worship. So, it sure as shit seems like that's exactly what they did, according to these charging documents. And Cherry, if you can grab me the video of this incident, that would be fantastic. I would really appreciate it. The statute makes the focus explicit. Liability turns on conduct, not ideology. Peaceful protest, picketing, and speech remain protected. Okay? Blocking doors, restraining people, interrupting services, or damaging property can trigger criminal penalties. That is clear right there. Penalties escalate based on the severity of the conduct and whether the defendant is a repeat offender, with possible fines and prison sentences. Congress passed the law after years of clinic blockades and violent incidents in the early 1990s, impeded patient access, and in some cases resulted in injuries and deaths. The legislative record reflects bipartisan support for a narrow tool aimed at preserving access rather than suppressing speech. How the law has been enforced. Federal prosecutors have used the FACE Act, most visibly in cases involving clinic blockades. In May 2024, federal courts imposed multiple prison sentences on individuals convicted of felony conspiracy and Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, FACE Act offenses for organizing and participating in a blockade of a Washington, D.C. reproductive health clinic that physically prevented patients from entering in 2020. In that case, defendants received sentences ranging from 21 months to 57 months in prison for conduct federal prosecutors said met the statute's physical obstruction requirement. At the same time, the law has also been used to protect facilities on the other side of the abortion debate after several pregnancy resource centers were vandalized. Defendants pleaded guilty to the FACE Act of violations for damaging property and threatening access. These cases relied on the same statutory provisions. The inclusion of churches in the statutory text is often overlooked. The law explicitly covers interference with religious worship, which means a protest that blocks congregants from exercising their First Amendment right to worship can fall within FACE's scope if it involves force, threats, or obstruction. These examples show a consistent legal principle. The government must prove more than the controversial speech. It must show that someone impeded access. I mean, if that means that you impeded access to someone getting religious nourishment, spiritual nourishment from the pastor, I know it's pastor. I know. Calm down. If you are somehow fucking with that, you know what I'm saying? Then you're in violation. The question is, was Don Lemon fucking with this? Or was he just filming it, covering it? Thank you so much. It's very, very sweet. All right. Now, is this Don Lemon's footage? Hey, y'all need to shut up. Okay. I already got the thing pulled up. Okay. I done seen Terry's shit. All right. Look, we're going to take a little detour here. Okay. Little detour. Oh my God.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat.
Super bad.
I think we got a super cat.
Super bad.
Super cat. Super cat. Cat, 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 cat. I think we got a super cat.
How dare you?
We're going to watch this video. Okay. January 18th, 2026. Let's go.
You're interfering
Good. Renee, good. Renee, good.
Okay. If that's Don Lemon, then he's not just being a journalist. He's chanting with the protesters. So he's not just being a journalist. So whatever charge, anything that they can make stick with interrupting a church, then okay, so that's not his footage. All right. I need to know if that's I'm saying if that's his footage. I don't know if that's his footage.
Renee, good.
Wow.
Renee, good. Renee, good. Renee, good. Renee, good. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
I mean, that's just an asshole thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, there's kids in there. You know? There's kids in there. Like, what a wholesome place for a kid to be. You know what I'm saying? That's wild. That's wild. But the question is it illegal? Right? And is this a case where what they did simply hurts our feelings? We have strong feelings about our respect for people's right to worship, but is there a law that protects it? Apparently, there's the FACE Act. That FACE Act absolutely seems to protect these people's right to worship, and this absolutely impeded their right to worship. This was absolutely interrupted. Whatever lesson, whatever sermon was being given, if communion was about to be given, not necessarily communion, but even other religions, they'll do the whole wine and wafer thing, you know. Somebody could be getting baptized. You know, and I know real good Christians, man. And I know people who have become Christians and it saved their lives. And so, in a way, Jesus, whether you believe in Jesus or not, Jesus literally saved their life. And so, this is something that, unless you're a complete and utter shitbag, you're going to respect. You know what I mean? Now, me personally, I consider myself a man of all faiths. I think there's truth to everything. That's a big theological deep dive that I'm happy to get into, just not right now. but I respect everyone's faith. If it's a faith that I mean, I really think that the one thing that will always separate humans from all other species is our ability to believe in something that we have no evidence of. Our ability to believe in something much bigger than ourselves, and to have a certain respect to either be created by this or be a part of it. And any faith that brings you closer to that mindset, in my opinion, should absolutely be respected. So I find it silly for that reason is why I'll never get into a religious debate with anyone, because it implies that what I believe in is more logical than what you believe in. And I just don't want to feel that way, because whatever is your personal relationship with something that you believe is bigger than you, then that's nobody's business. That's nobody's right to challenge that, you know? So I'm always going to respect that. So because I'm always going to respect that, there's no reason for me to even get into a religious debate with anyone, you know? And so this is obviously a group of people who lacks this respect. And I think that's sad.
Go shoot! Go shoot!
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! This is the house of God, and we are worshiping. Shame on you!
Ice out! Ice out!
Yo, man, these people are like, dude, we ain't got nothing to do with ice. We're trying to stay out of the ice. It's cold. We're trying to get closer to God. What is wrong with you?
Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out!
Bro. Listen, I'm not laughing at your opinion. I'm laughing at my restraint to address it. But yeah. But yeah, you guys are free to discuss with each other in the chat. I mean, you know, we don't need any riots. Listen, we're all adults here. You know, we're all adults here, even though we act childish, but we reserve the right to act childish because we are adults. We're allowed to do that. We're allowed to make these kind of life decisions where we decide to act like children. But there's no reason why we can't keep this enjoyable for each other. We are here because we support someone's right to free speech who's being charged for it. And we've all kind of connected with that here. So and somebody who was falsely accused of murder, and somebody who and then going back to that first person, somebody who helped uncover that and was relentless about it and is now facing jail time for that. And that is not American. So let's try to keep that in mind when we discuss with each other our different opinions and express our different opinions with each other in the chat, is all I ask. I'm not going to get mad at nobody for being insulting towards someone, but that would be hypocritical of me to do that. But I would encourage you, as I said, to just try to keep in mind what we're all doing here and why we're all here initially.
Ice. You like ice?
No, sir.
That's, dude, what the fuck was that?
Ice. You like ice?
No, sir.
Like, and what if they did? You like ice? You like ice? And what if they did? They don't have a right to feel how they feel about certain things. They don't have a right to just go to church and not think about it. You know what I mean?
Ice out. Ice out.
Look at
Ice.
these poor elderly. These poor elderly people that were sitting there, man. Paula, who are they targeting? ICE or the church? Right. I mean, I don't see ICE agents in there.
You support ice? Ice out.
Like, why do you think somebody's going to talk to you? That's incredibly, dude. Like, it's incredibly intrusive. Like, these people are committing no crimes. And this is another thing. A very important detail, because remember why we're here. We're here to compare this to what TURTLEBOY did. Okay? TURTLEBOY stuck his camera in the faces of what the facts dictate to be cop killers. Not innocent soccer moms. Fucking cop killers. People who made nefarious Google searches. People who lied on the stand about phone calls that took place. Not to mention the science dictating that what they were the narrative they were spinning was just impossible. It's very different. These people weren't just trying to go to church. These weren't just innocent people trying to go to church. This is a woman at a lacrosse game acting like a soccer mom when she's really what the facts dictate to be a cop killer. By default. I mean, if you Google how long to die in cold at 2:27 a.m., then, I mean, it's pretty obvious. And if that's where you could catch this person to ask them questions, then so be it. This is our house of the Lord. We're trying to praise his name and worship, and you do this? This is what this gentleman is saying. This is our house of the Lord where we want to praise his name and worship. To them, that is the most sacred thing that you could possibly do. A soldier says, God, country, unit. That's what a soldier says. Puts God above everything. You know what I mean? I mean, this is crazy to me that these people feel justified in doing this and they feel powerful. Like this is absolutely bullying. I don't see, I mean, are you seeing these people chanting, "We love ICE"? They're just attending church. Better with Irish. Remember, for 10 months, for those asking, they say the pastor is an ICE agent. Oh. Okay, so the pastor can't do something. Why do why does the congregation have to suffer? Think about it. This is a hypothetical, but what would fit in the Old Testament. An Old Testament. It's just I'm making this up. But imagine this. Imagine that someone who is a follower of the Lord, a devout Christian, right? I know I said Old Testament, but there were no Christians in the Old Testament. But someone who is just a devout follower of God, right? But let's just say modern times, right? And someone reveals to you that your pastor is also an ICE agent, and you are a total liberal, right? Then this person who's being tested, not you, but this person is being tested, a total liberal. Imagine that. What happens if everything that this ICE agent says on a spiritual level on a Sunday touches this person's heart in just the right way and no other way that anything? Because if you are a true believer in God, then you believe that God has a way of touching your heart. God has a way of figuring out what it is, how to get through to you and communicate with you. And if you have a good relationship with God, you know how to listen for it, right? Typically, this is the way of a spiritual person, no? So imagine if a person has this wonderful relationship with God and this ICE agent, and they're totally against ICE, and they are absolutely against everything that they're doing. They're anti-Trump, everything down the line, but they are Christians. And this ICE agent speaks to them in a way that nobody can reach them and ever has. And those words have changed their life for the better. And going to church and hearing the sermon from this ICE agent is what's keeping them going. What's inspiring them to attack their weak. You know what I mean? Isn't it the most Christian, or isn't it the most spiritually sound thing to do, to look past anything? And if that vessel touches you, if that person turns out to be a vessel of God for you that reaches your heart, to that helps you in your life be a better person, what does it matter? Wasn't I mean, there's already a Bible story that relates to that. You look at Mary Magdalene. Wasn't she a prostitute? I mean, but she had a good heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I'm not saying I back ICE or ICE, you know, I think what's going on right now is insane on so many levels. And I'm not on a side. That I can honestly tell you. I am not on a side. I am right now I'm just looking at everything and going, Jesus. You know? So I think, I mean, there's a reason why the Highlander, they say there's no fighting on holy ground. You can't fight on a graveyard. You can't fight. There can only be one. And there's all these immortals running around. Everybody's immortal. They've been on the earth for hundreds and hundreds of years. And they have to fight and cut each other's head off to gain their power and knowledge until there's only one left. And the rule is you cannot ever fight on holy ground. And why is that? Because there's a respect for it. There's a respect for it. It's God's house. I mean, yeah, like I could never, no matter how strongly I felt about something, I don't think I could ever do this to a bunch of kids. You know, like, this is crazy.
This is the house of the Lord. To do this is unjust, and it's just. You support what happened to the
Dude, if I was a little kid at church with my family and that shit happened, I would be freaking the fuck out. I'd be like, what is happening? I've always, when I was a kid and I went to church, I always felt bored I didn't want to be there, but I always felt safe. It was one of the most safest places I could feel. But I could just imagine being with my mom, my uncle, my cousins, my brother, and this happening, and feeling like, holy shit. Like, even probably being like, did we do something? What did we do?
Renee, good. Renee, good. Renee, good. Renee, good. Renee, good.
You guys are scaring the children.
Yeah, ICE has been around. ICE has been around for a long time. And Democratic presidents, predecessors of Donald Trump, supported immigration enforcement. And the fact is, now the question is, and I don't even mean to imply that, I feel this way, because I don't know necessarily. The question is whether or not ICE is now being weaponized. I don't see enough to make that opinion just yet. But the problem is that there's these very, very, I mean, the truth is that if there wasn't people protesting, then this wouldn't be happening necessarily. But then again, if they weren't forcibly taking illegal immigrants, by force, and and that's the thing, is I don't know how much is true. You know what I mean? The question is like, is ICE doing the things that people are saying? And then now, because they've shot 2 people, it's a question of, is this entire organization now heading, is this a sign that we're headed towards a police state? But I don't feel that way, because we don't have any of that shit going on around where I live. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the fact is there are, I mean, I don't think I have no reason to think that they're illegal, but there are definitely different cultures that live in my area and in the South. Let me show you guys something. I'm going to show you guys something that I found to be one of the most, and this is barely over, but we're going to come back to this. Something that I found to be one of the most refreshing videos that I've ever watched. Now, real quick, before I do that, go give this video a like, because somebody, a channel called Next Witness, just made what seems to be a tribute video for Melanie Little, and I think that's the sweetest thing in the world. And I think that's really awesome, and especially with the kind of shit she's been dealing with, I think that's a really nice thing. So I want you guys to take a second and go give that video a like. Unless I'm mistaken and they're like shitting on her. I hope that's not the case. But I think they're paying tribute to her, and it's really nice. What I saw very little of, and it just dropped. So stop what you're doing right now. Go give that video a like. because we love Mel around here. She fought hard for Karen Reed. She fought hard for Aiden. She's been doing great, and we all appreciate her for it. So, I'll give you guys a second. All right, now check this out. This was a really I found this to be a really, really refreshing video because I live in the South and it's hard to describe why I love living here. Because here, I believe, at least close to where I live, there's a balance. And this is a great example. So this is a woman's account of having moved from, I think, Maryland to South Carolina in a red state, from a blue state to a red state. Okay. And I'm not even conservative. Okay. But pay attention to what she says here.
2 years ago, I was racist. I hated white people. I didn't think I hated white people. I'll be real, I didn't think I did. Until the Lord checked my heart. And he said to me, you know you're racist, right? And I said, nah, you can't be telling me that. I ain't racist. Like, black people can't be racist, right? And he revealed to me the hatred I have in my heart was passed down from a generational teaching that was taught through family and whatnot. Now, when that was revealed to me, that's when my family and we moved down south to South Carolina. I'm originally from...
I know he does kind of look like John Crimes, doesn't he? It's not John Crimes.
Maryland.
This guy's way smarter.
I'm from PG County. So in that area, it's predominantly black. That's all you see is just, black everything, just black richness, the melanin, everything. That's all you see. Beautiful representation in the area. That's all I knew, literally, until I moved away. And I didn't think I had hatred towards whites until I was around whites down south. I didn't know how to feel about them. I didn't know how to necessarily act around them. Now, mind you, I have worked with white people before. I have, but I still had my mixed views about them due to what I was taught. And that's just that. But here's what made me look at white people differently. When I brought my children to school down south in South Carolina, and the city that we live in is very conservative based, so it's not just a Republican state, it's also conservative based too. And the way how those teachers listened to me when I addressed my concerns about my children and their education and everything, it blew my mind how understanding. They was very compassionate. I remember them even apologizing to me for what I went through with PG County schools, because Prince George's County schools, for anyone that lives there, they know it is horrible.
So, regardless of whether most people admit it or not, especially within the black community, a lot of the hatred that they have towards other groups of people, specifically white people, is handed down to them. And then now that we have social media, it is confirmed. It is reiterated, the trauma bonding is across the board where people are looking for and then they are handed based off of what it is that they're searching and their algorithm confirmation that, hey, listen, it's okay to hate other people, it's okay to hate white people. They will justify it, they will spin a narrative, they will say, oh man, it's okay, it's not okay, it is, you know, the best thing, the worst thing, whatever. We can't be racist because we have no institutional power to be able to create a system that oppresses white people. Bro, all you got to do is go into some of these living rooms over on Thanksgiving and let something with regard to a white person and now probably Trump come up, and some of the most hateful things that you have ever heard in your entire life will be spewed. Now, of course, there's going to be people that push back because they want their institutional racism. They want how they feel to be confirmed. They don't want to change who they are. And the older that they get, the more set in their ways they become, which is very interesting that this woman is talking about it, because she's basically saying that her change of heart had to come from being divine. So the information can be out there for you. You can research it. You can know that you're supposed to treat people based off of the content of their character instead of the color of their skin. And it goes both ways, obviously. But black people think that they're justified in hating other people or hating white people. And it even goes as far as how they start to vote against their own best interest, because they think that they're doing themselves a favor by hating somebody else. But it never works out beneficial for you when you start to hate other people. And they don't think that they're racist. And so it's very interesting to hear this woman's story.
Horrible. It is so bad. I mean, the system
Yeah,
is beyond.
think about it. Like, she is about to go, and now this is why I'm playing this, because she's about to go into a very articulate detail of what the education system, the contrast, and the effect it had on her children from moving from a blue state where they think, okay, well, everybody's virtue signaling and everybody is speaking on behalf of black people. And it's like, okay, you know, and then now she goes to a red state where everybody's supposed to be fucking racist. And listen to what she says. It's fascinating. And she's saying before she moved to the red state, she was racist against white people.
I messed up. Like, it's just bad. So when they saw the issues that my kids have, they placed them in developments that they need to be in school. And when I tell you 2 years later, my children are doing so well. They have progressed so fast. And it's such a blessing to me. And I remember I was telling my sister, I said, I wish kids in PG County, I wish that they can experience this. I was like, every kid in Prince George's County should experience what my kids are experiencing down here in South Carolina. And it grieved me. I said, it's not fair that these policies that they have in place in Maryland, and all the people do is vote blue in Maryland because that's all we know. But moving away from a blue state to a red state, it gave me an awakening that I needed to have. And like, honestly, when the Lord revealed my heart as far as like how I felt about people who are not my race, I had to repent, of course. It gave me a sense of grief for myself on the things that I missed out on due to the racism that I had in my heart.
What's up, Lauren?
White. But now, fast forward, I welcome everyone with such love and respect. I do. I really do. And
that's dope.
The way how red states with conservative-based cities, because I know every red state doesn't have conservative-based cities. There are red states that have.
Texas, Houston, the biggest city in Texas, is very blue. Dallas, even though the mayor switched over to being red, is very blue. There's states, even in red states, large metropolitan areas tend to be blue. That's just the way that it go. No matter what kind of red state that you in, most areas tend to be blue.
Democrat cities. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about red states with conservative city base, like all red all around.
Yep.
I noticed how the local businesses invest in the schools. I noticed how the teachers are happy to teach the children. Yep. I noticed how these school classrooms are not overpopulated. I noticed that these teachers are caring, they're loving, they make you feel involved, they make you know that they basically let you know that you are not alone, like we are a team. and they don't
That's
dismiss your
real.
feelings. They don't gaslight you. They don't do any of that. Like, you actually feel like an actual human being being around these people. And I'm talking about all kinds of people, black, white, Hispanic. There's all kinds of people that live down here where I live at.
Right.
But
same here.
I want kids to experience the same things that my kids are experiencing in my hometown.
And the first way that you have to do that is you got to divest yourself from this hateful mindset that we think that the world is against us. Is there going to always be racist people, whether you're black or you're white? Absolutely. But that doesn't have to control you. And the possibility of you running into those type of people and they affecting your way of life is slim to none nowadays. I mean, so much so to where people are trying to like overcorrect for all of the stuff that they think that we're still going through. And it's just not beneficial. I see people build their whole platforms off of the hate that they may have had for an entirely different race or group of people. And you cut your nose off, you cut your opportunities off, you cut your friendships off. You really limit yourself of what you can achieve because you still got that deep-seated hate in your heart.
I don't know how it can
Can't
be
live
done
like
because,
that, bro.
again, Maryland has been blue
Right.
for decades.
And never
Can't live-
benefited.
I mean, decades.
You
It's
can't
been
live like
blue
that.
since
It's
I
a
was
bummer.
a baby. It
you
was
know?
blue before
Why
that.
do that
I
to
don't even think
yourself?
if Maryland was ever red before. I can't even recall. But I believe every kid should experience that type of level of education. I believe that every parent should be able to have the option of the child going to a different school, like school choice. I believe that kids should just be able to experience those things.
Yep.
But the fact that these blue Democrat cities, they keep defunding these schools, man. They keep defunding these schools. They keep gentrifying the area. They keep building housing within the area. You see nicer houses than you do at these schools. And I don't think that's fair for the kids. My daughter was telling me when she was in Maryland, she said, Mom, when we were living in Maryland, she said, I'm not gonna lie, with us wearing those uniforms and the way how the classrooms were set up, I felt like the school system was preparing me for jail. My daughter's 10.
Wow.
That's
She said
crazy.
Listen to that one more time.
In Maryland. She said, Mom, when we were living in Maryland, she said, I'm not gonna out here in these schools, man. They keep defunding these schools. They keep gentrifying the area.
This is
They
crazy.
keep building housing within the area. You see nicer houses than you do at these schools. And I don't think that's fair for the kids. My daughter was telling me when she was in Maryland, she said, Mom, when we were living in Maryland, she said, I'm not gonna lie, with us wearing those uniforms and the way how the classrooms were set up, I felt like the school system was preparing me for jail.
That's
My daughter's
fucking crazy.
That's
She said
crazy.
A 10-year-old goes to a red state from a blue state and feels relieved. A 10-year-old black girl, and she says, it feels like the school that I was in was, I mean, they were preparing me for jail. When I'm seeing what jail looks like, and then I'm seeing what my school looks like, it's similar. The similarities are overwhelming. A 10-year-old is making this observation. That is wild.
Crazy.
She said schools down here in the South is not like how it was in Maryland. And she said you could not pay me to go back. Like, my daughter does not ever want to go back to Maryland to live, ever. Because her experience down here in South Carolina. So I don't know if there's a way for Maryland to turn red, but they should try it. They should try it. They should like let go of the lies that was told unto them. I had to let all the lies go. I had to let it go because it did nothing for me. There was no progression with holding on to the lies that those Democrat politicians will tell you. It's like they gaslight you and they love bomb you with racism and all these stupid like rhetorics. And then they get in office, they don't do nothing besides raise taxes and defund everything. And they do things for other people. Yeah, they do things for other people and they don't help the people that actually put them in office.
Right.
And I don't think that's fair.
Right.
I don't think that's fair. And my video is mad
That
long.
sound familiar, Massachusettsans?
But I just want to talk about that because it's just something that I just noticed and I just picked up. All right, that's it. That's all I have to say.
No, I
All
think
right,
that all of that is dope.
bye.
I think that's fair. And everything that she's saying is awesome. And I'm glad that she's released herself from that so that she now can benefit from it and give herself and her children. Forget her. She's not passing this generational trauma down to her children. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into Patreon. I always like to give credit where credit is due. So I'm going to link back to the content creator. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.
Stop what you're doing right now. Go give that a like. Let's watch the rest of this shit.
I'm in the middle. From where? Do you fear being deported? I do not. You know why? Because I'm there. Legally. I went through the process.
I mean, these people are just fucking confused. And look, another really important thing is, can they get out? That's what I want to know. Can these people get out?
Inside the church, during service.
That is a big, big, big part of it.
We'll think about the people that didn't turn out us. We'll think about Lee Porter. Lee Porter was a black man. He was killed by ICE. Stand up, fight back.
Are these so-called protesters blocking these people from leaving?
Stand up, fight back.
That is a very, very important aspect here.
Stand up, fight back. Stand up, fight back. Huh? Can you help Sam with that? Stand up, fight back. Stand up, fight back. Stand up, fight back.
You are preaching the word of God while dressed in a suit. Did Jesus
Stand up, fight back.
No, he didn't. You are a fake pastor. You are a fake Christian. Stand up, fight back.
Stand up and fight back against who? People who are just attending a church?
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up. Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back. Stand up,
Stand up, fight back.
Yeah, Turtle Boy never did anything like this. Like, why are people comparing this to Turtle Boy? It's the strangest thing in the world.
Ice out! 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 Ice
Look,
out!
look at that.
Ice out! Ice out! Ice out!
Right there. Look at that right here. They're making a statement. These kids right here are making a statement. These are young Christians. Let me tell you something, man. I went through a phase. I was about 14 years old, and I was going to a fucking Pentecostal church. I was what they would call on fire for God, okay? I only listened to Christian music. I was always reading my Bible. I was going to church twice on Sunday, every Sunday, and youth group on Wednesday. And the pastor would talk about me and a few others, and they would say, man, this is what I like to see. The youth, on fire for God. You know what I mean? And right here, these young people are making a statement. They're like, okay, they think they're making a statement. Let's make the ultimate statement here. They cannot interrupt they're coming in here to disrupt my worship. I'm going to show them that they can't. And that's pretty fucking amazing. It's pretty fucking amazing. It's a hell of a statement for young people right here to make.
Ice out! 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 Ice out!
Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out! Ice out!
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Don Lemon's footage. This is still going on. This is 20 minutes of this shit. And these kids are still going.
Ice out!
Good for them, man.
Ice out! Now! Ice out! Now!
And the people in the back are doing it too. Look at that. Look at that.
Out! Now! Ice out! Now!
These people in the back, they're still worshiping. But I don't see the exit blocked.
Ice out! Now! Ice out!
I need to get a better.
Ice!
Do they show the exit?
Ice out!
There. Okay. People are leaving. People are leaving. We got to look at all the facts, folks. Okay? It's very important. So I saw a lot of people in the chat that were like, nah, man, they were blocking the exit. But I see people leaving. That's the exit right there. Thank you so much. The Feckers should come here. Terrify kids. No. Member for 5 months. Thank you, Tara. I mean... No, the exit doesn't matter, but it is a detail to pay attention to. It is a detail to pay attention to.
Ice out! Now! 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 Ice out!
And you know, these people, you got to respect them. They're standing their ground and they're doing so peacefully. They're not throwing chairs. Those chairs, you can fucking lift them up, man. Start throwing them if you want. You know what I'm saying? They did not do that. These fine Christian folks, they just sat there. They stood up. They said, you're not going to interrupt my Sunday worship. You're not going to interrupt my Sunday worship, no matter what you try to do. So, yeah, can I just... Let me see real quick. Yeah, so where would that be? Minneapolis ice crisis. It's getting worse. I'm not seeing. Maybe alive. Yeah, I mean, he goes hard at Donald Trump. And that's his right to do. You know what I mean? He goes hard at Donald Trump, man. So, and the only reason I'm pointing that out is because it means it's just an indication of how opinionated and how strongly he feels. So, I mean, I feel like if I'm defending him as his attorney, if I'm defending him as his attorney, I'm looking at it like, wait. All right, here we go. So I'm looking at it like, all right, well, you have to prove that he was part of the planning. Is there video footage of him planning and organizing at this shopping center parking lot? That's what I want to know. Thank you, Tara. Appreciate it. Okay, but I've got, hold on. Let's see here.
To show up to some unknown location he knew all about what the organizers were planning to do inside this church. He willfully entered the church knowing full well that the disruption was planned. The first example is Lemon at the meeting site with the protesters, where he's kissing the organizer. They clearly know each other. They've been in cahoots. And you will hear him allude to knowing the details. He talks about how it's key that some of the agitators are what he calls MAGA coded. Watch.
They're getting the operation together. Again, this is an operation that is a secret, that they invited folks out. Can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon Show. There are for this reason, it may look like MAGA coded, but there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have allies, as I said, white allies here. So.
What? Okay. Hold on.
For this reason, it may look like MAGA coded, but there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have allies, as I said, white allies here. So that is what I can say. I turned our camera off of them because they're giving some critical information here. How are you? Good to see you. We're on. We're not saying what it is, what's going on, but thank you. Tell us why you're doing this.
So
this is Nakima, Levy Armstrong.
This is Operation Pull Out, more of a clandestine operation.
Okay, so we're going to go with the operation again. We're not going to give any of the information away. As Nakima said, this is a clandestine operation, and then we can tell you what's going to happen afterward.
Now, let me say for the record, if Don Lemon had stopped there and not gone in that church, he would have been fine. Would have been fine.
Right.
It's fine.
Right.
Fine for someone to tell you that they're going to do something illegal and use the reporter, go there to film it from a place you're allowed to be and you don't take part in it. We do that all the time.
That's what I got out of that.
But he didn't. That wasn't good enough for Don because, you see, he needed YouTube subscribers. Do we have that clip, Deb, where he's begging them, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow, subscribe. That's why he did it. It wasn't enough for Don to document from the place he was allowed to be what they were doing inside. And hey, it would have been great tape watching the people run out, the woman with the broken arm, the crying children. I think Don really would have enjoyed that. But it wasn't good enough for him. He wanted to go in the church.
Now, I've never seen this. Just in my defense, I've never seen this. But she's kind of spitting right now. I just didn't go that hard. But I'm like, she's not wrong. You know? But at the same time, I'm saying what I did say was if he was just covering it, then, you know, you could have gone inside. That's just good coverage. But then again, it is a church. Like, somebody who feels like the sanctity of the church is something to respect, he would have stayed outside. I mean, let's just be honest about that. He would have stayed outside. But at the same time, journalism, getting the best possible footage, would he be slipping? You know what I mean?
He reminded people throughout his disruption Subscribe. Watch. Look, we actually cut the clip the other day. We never got to play it, but here it is.
So if you're in the chat, if you're with us, support us. Support us. Support us.
In the church.
Like and subscribe. Become a member. Support independent journalism because we do it without fear or favor. I'm not afraid to do this. Like I told you, it's going to be raw, unscripted. We got stuck in the snow trying to get here and to produce it in real time. Go here. As soon as we walked in, almost perfect timing, the protesters stood up. Appreciate all of you. All of the.
See, so far, I'm not seeing any evidence that he organized this. I mean, he's allowed to be supportive of it. He's allowed to be supportive of the people who are doing it, but he didn't organize it. And if he supports it, does it make him a participant? Again, what I'm seeing right now is evidence that he was there to document it. And if that is the case, he doesn't fall under the same scrutiny as the rest of the people there. I know people are mad. You guys don't want to hear that shit from me, but I'm telling you what I just saw. I didn't see anything that proves that he organized this and he was part of it, that he was protesting. I mean, again, is it gross that he's standing in a church that's being completely violated and going, make sure to like and subscribe, support us, make sure to like and subscribe? You know what I mean? Like, is that shit gross? Of course it's fucking gross. The question is it illegal? Because unless he was part of the actual protest, and they can prove that, because again, the burden of proof is on the state of Minnesota. So if they can't prove that he was part of that, then he was just a fucking journalist who's a shitbag, but at the end of the day, still just a journalist. Let's be honest.
New members, make sure you subscribe if you're watching us. Make sure if you go to the YouTube channel, you can hit subscribe. Just go to donlemon.com. donlemon.com. At the top of the page, there are links on all 4 of the categories that we are nominated for the NAACP Image Award. Click on those categories and vote. You can only vote for one person. Vote for me.
So he decided that he wanted to interfere with people's right to worship because it could really get him some good clicks. Like there would be a personal benefit to Don Lemon, right? Some people went in there intentionally interfering because they wanted to intimidate ICE and ICE supporters.
Now, I like Megyn Kelly, but I just kind of like her. I don't know enough about her to really form like a solid opinion. Like, yeah, Megyn Kelly's all right. I don't know. But what I can tell you from what I have observed so far, definitively, without a doubt, that it is her job and her bread and butter to trash Don Lemon, to counter, and anybody who is like Don Lemon, it is her job to counter them and call them out. And, you know, it's what she does. Like what she's doing is no different than what I've done with JFK. Technically. But make no mistake, her job is to do this. You know what I mean? Her job is to be like, I'm disgusted with this guy. Just like Nancy Grace's job is to be like, oh my God, can you believe the nerve? Like, it's their job. This is what they do.
Some people went in there because they wanted to interfere because they thought they'd get clicks and subscriptions. They're both illegal. Did you intend to interfere? Yeah, you did. You knew what would happen. You fully intended to walk in there, to walk down the aisle, to interrupt the church service in progress. You fully knew. You 100% knew. The payoff to you was different from the payoff to Nakima. Doesn't make...
That's another point. That's another perspective to look at. Is the fact that he was going to get really good coverage motive to be a part of the planning? Can the prosecutor go that route with Don Lemon's case, right? With Don Lemon as the defendant, can the prosecutor say, hey, he had motive to plan this? Because I mean, you see him. He's begging for subscribers. He's going, make sure to like and subscribe. Go to donlemon.com. Go to the top of the page. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Can you prove that that's motive? To be part of that planning so that it's as dramatic as possible. Anything happens. Kids, oh my God, that's amazing footage that you're doing this. And there's kids here.
Your behavior any more lawful. In this next clip, again, he's on the way to the location before it happens, and he accidentally reveals that he knows exactly where they're going and that it's a place of worship.
As Nakima said, this is clandestine, a clandestine operation, and then we can tell you what's going to happen after. We don't know what's happening. We kind of do, but we don't know how it's going to play out. Okay, so we are here now.
See right there, he just said we don't know what's happening. We kind of do, but we don't know how it's going to play out. That means that he had people, he showed up, he knew he got a tip. He was like, all right, so you guys are going to go do what? They told him what they felt comfortable fucking telling him, and he's just going to go and shoot it and find out what the fuck it is. I mean, so far, what I'm seeing are the actions of a journalist, whether you like it or not, guys. I mean, I'm sorry. So far, that's what I'm seeing. As disgusting and, I mean, is it low? Is it gross? Of course. I'm not questioning that. The question is it illegal? Is what he is doing specifically, is it illegal?
Do you think if you just have it, I think maybe if you just have it on the church, but if they see me,
Oh, whoops.
they're going to know. No? It just depends.
If they see me, they're going to know.
What? Don't need to.
Hold on.
Just okay, so we are here now. Do you think if you just have it, I think maybe if you just have it on the church, but if they see me,
Oh, whoops.
they're going to know.
Wait,
No?
what?
It just depends.
If they see me, they're going to
They see me, they're going to know. Who's going to know what when they see you? What does that mean? What does that mean? Tara Rayner, thank you so much. Bruce Almighty, only he's playing God without magic. Yeah, he did know it was a church. He knew where they were going. He just didn't know what to expect of it. Now, it could be argued that all he knew, and he still could have planned this, that all he knew was they were planning on causing a disruption at a place of worship. Period. Didn't care how it was going to play out. That's how a prosecutor might argue that. Say it's not that he knew how it was going to play out, and that means that he didn't have any plans over it. He's saying we don't know how it's going to play out because he didn't fucking care. Right? I mean, people, these are not my opinions. I'm just thinking in terms of how a prosecutor or a defense attorney might address this to a jury and might sell this to a jury. Tara Rayner, thank you so much. Bruce Almighty created the chaos for Top Anchor. Okay, thank you. Gordy's mum, thank you so much. Do you think that Don would be getting support if he pulled this in a mosque? Nope. The accepted hatred toward Judeo-Christians is disgusting. Okay. That could be true. Yeah, I mean, I think that all of those factors are it's irresponsible to not factor in all of those things. Just like I brought up the Satanic Church. You know what I mean? We have to try to look at these things from every possible perspective. And there is definitely favoritism, not just in the law, but in society. Remember, Minnesota just had two church shootings, and Don didn't respect when pastor told him to go. Kids harasses, then Don called them white supremacists. Okay, yeah, I didn't know that. Thank you.
No.
What? Don't name the location. I'm not naming the location, but I mean, I'm just wondering if you see me. The folks inside see me.
Are the congregants really on live instead of in service? Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, if he's worried about the people inside recognizing him, he knows he's about to do something he shouldn't be doing. He's debating on whether or not it's the right thing to do. And not because it's a moral issue. He's thinking about self-preservation. Am I going to get in trouble? Like, that is something to take note of here. Right now, everything, to me, in my opinion, up until this very point, he was acting as a journalist. But now he is worried. Why would a journalist? Because here's another thing. Remember why we're here. We're here to compare this to TURTLEBOY, right? Do you think that TURTLEBOY would be worried about that? TURTLEBOY would go, I don't give a fuck who recognizes me. TURTLEBOY would say, I don't give a fuck who recognizes me. I'm going in there to get footage. If he felt it was the right thing to do, if he was doing that just for the sake of journalism, if he didn't go in there, it wouldn't be because he was worried somebody would recognize him, is my point. TURTLEBOY would be worried about the moral issue of going into a church and disrupting it, which he never did. And there's probably a reason why he never did that, because it's a shitty thing to do. So it's fascinating here that's what he's concerned about. He's concerned about being recognized. If he's going in there to be a journalist, he wants word of mouth. He wants those people going, Don Lemon was in here. Even the people who don't like him, he wants them to go around going, Don Lemon was in here fucking filming it. You believe that shit? Boom, that's word of mouth. He gets around. He wants people talking about him, unless he's doing something wrong. Why would somebody who is going like and subscribe, support me, blah, 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 blah. Why would someone doing that be worried about being recognized in an action? If his action is his job, if he is acting as a journalist, as that guy, as that face, why would he be worried about being recognized?
No, but they'll be like, why is Don Lemon here?
Sunday morning church.
Yeah.
And we need to surprise them.
Like, well, what else? It's Sunday. We already said the church.
No, we didn't.
Yes, you said it.
Wow.
Yeah, he wanted it to be a big surprise. He wanted them to get settled in, to say their prayers, to connect with God. And look, I go to church every Sunday. Think about your experience in that pew. I will share something with you. When I go, and probably just like a lot of you, when I go, the first thing I do when I get there is I say my prayers for my family and for people I miss. I think about my sister all the time, who died a couple of years ago at age 58. I say prayers for her. I think about her. I pray for my mom, who's 84. And this journalist wanted to make sure people like me were doing that.
She almost said asshole.
Burst in and surprise them. And his giggling asshole producer is under arrest too.
She said at that time.
With Don Lemon. They didn't have a care for interrupting that holy moment that the individuals inside that church. And his giggling asshole producer is under arrest too. So he can fuck right off with Don Lemon.
Fuck right off with Don Lemon, Megan
They
Kelly
didn't have
said.
a care for interrupting that holy moment that the individuals inside that church were probably having with God, with Jesus, with loved ones.
Thank you,
praying
Phil.
for the people who are suffering, praying for the people who are hurt, praying for the people they've lost, praying for their kids, praying to God to keep them safe. And in walks Don Lemon with his microphone, shoving it in your pastor's face as that pastor says, "Get out. Get out." And his response is, trauma's part of the process. Trauma's part of it. Being disturbed is our First Amendment right to disturb you. No, it isn't. That's where you're really wrong, Don. About 30 seconds after the protest begins in the middle of the service, he details, of course, as we know now, knowing the protesters were there, about this pastor, not the one who was actually delivering the service, but a different one, apparently being a member of ICE. He knew that. Okay, he knew that that was the reason for the protest. He knew because he was in on it. He was kissing the organizer of the protest before it happened. He knew they were going to. He knew everything. There wasn't a piece of this whole thing that Don Lemon wasn't in on in advance, and obviously he had no problem with any of it. Watch.
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously opinionated. So now she's claiming, watch.
We do have some seats available in the sides here. The transept, some seats open. Seats up here as well. The Gospel of John.
Video from outside. I hear the pastor. And there it is.
Hey, meta
There's the
record.
Kima. Yeah, and there's Don.
So activists are now in the church.
Once inside, what's happening? We're seeing this person fixing
Surrounded the
cameras.
church. On the inside, they have found out that one of the pastors
In goes his producer.
here in the city, in the area.
This is
This is
Oh, this is
I think they found out
fucking
one of, according to them, this is according to Operation Pull Up, that one of the pastors here is a member of ICE.
Oh, how'd you know that, Don? Wow. Seems like you might have had advance notice of everything. Where the church was, which church it was, when the service was happening, who the priest was or the minister, and what his connections were outside of it. It seems like you kind of knew a lot. It feels a little bit more than just, oh, gee, I had no idea I showed up where Nakima told me and then I just followed her inside. You knew everything. All right, you knew everything. We know that. Here he is outside the church watching, in his word, traumatized parishioners leave. Is he upset that he participated in causing the trauma? Doesn't seem so. Doesn't really seem so. Watch.
Watch this guy here, look, he's hugging his kid. And, you know, I just imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful, it's very slippery right here. Yeah. It's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, but that's what really, careful, please, really slippery. I'm not kidding. That's what protesting is about. And so.
That's what protesting is about. Causing trauma.
Yeah, that's not what protesting is about. A collateral damage of protesting can be emotional trauma, sure. But the point is that someone expressing their freedom of speech is not someone's feelings, is not their priority. That's the point. That's where the argument of feelings and trauma come in, because it's not for the person with freedom of speech to worry about. But the thing is that if you're deliberately trying to hurt someone's feelings and traumatize, I don't know, children, because you just specified that these families with children are clearly emotional and traumatized, but that's what protesting is about. I don't think so. I don't think that protesting and exercising your First Amendment right is about traumatizing children. And he just said that. Now, unless his defense attorney argues something that says, hey, whatever, that is what it is, and the law protects him either way, you may not like it. If he's got a lawyer that could sell that shit to a jury, which I don't know how you're going to be able to do that. You need a really good fucking defense lawyer. I'm not even sure AJ could do it. Not to doubt my man, but I'm not even sure he could do that. A jury who's going, wait a second, okay. So the First Amendment is designed to traumatize children? Like you just said that. Because if I'm that prosecutor, I'm bringing that home. I'm playing that like fucking Garrison in JFK, playing that footage of JFK's the president getting shot. Back and to the left, back and to the left, back and to the left. That's what I'm doing. I'm playing that shit over and over again. Just fucking.
You know, I just imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful, it's very slippery right here. Yeah. And, you know, I just imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful.
And causing the trauma? Doesn't seem so.
You know, I just imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, not kidding. That's what protesting is about. And so.
That's what protesting is about. Causing trauma to children. Isn't it ironic how he's sitting there so worried about slipping on the ice? He's very worried about his own safety and that of his photog. Doesn't give a shit about the people who are having to run out of the church because of him. And indeed, one broke her arm. according to the federal affidavit in support of the arrest we saw earlier this week. Does he care about her? Did he care about the children? No, trauma's part of it. Trauma's part of it. Well, guess what, Don Lemon? Now you're going to have trauma. It's your turn. He was arrested last night at the Grammys. Some sort of Grammy-related event. James Rosen.
I mean, the FACE Act, yeah, if that's a thing, you know, the question is the FACE Act unconstitutional? That's going to be the question. That's what, I mean, what Bradel and Betterow, well, specifically Bradel from the vibe I'm getting of Turtle Boy's case and his defense, is Bradel's going to be the one spearheading the driving home of that that the law that was used to charge Aiden was unconstitutional. So will Don Lemon's attorney argue that the FACE Act is unconstitutional? But good luck with that. Just, I can't imagine the Supreme Court going, hey man, church, whatever. You could fucking run in there and just run amok. I just don't see that happening.
Reporting that law enforcement sources tell Newsmax he briefly resisted arrest by Homeland Security FBI agents in LA last night after he'd been handcuffed in a Los Angeles hotel lobby and was taken to an elevator. Now it's time for you to feel some trauma. And we don't feel sorry for you. Because unlike those poor parishioners, you actually did bring this upon yourself. You didn't know the law, or you did and you flouted it. Either way, you're in a lot of trouble. And it's thanks to your own terrible decision making. Even knowing they were traumatized and they were crying and they were scared, you stayed, you giggled, you worried about whether you might slip and fall, but not about a single soul other than yourself and your photog. A new year means new financial goals, like making sure your savings are secure and diversified.
I mean, I agree with her on that in the sense that it's gross. You know what I'm saying? Like, I agree with all the things that she's saying is gross about it. The question is it illegal? Now, let me see something here real quick. Now, we didn't go over, I mean, we only went over maybe not even half of this indictment, but we got the gist, right? And so let me see something here real quick. Excuse me. Why isn't this up? Now, real quick, guys, stop what you're doing right now and go give this a like, because this is happening on the 12th. We're going to do a reading. I have no idea what I'm doing here, but we're going to do a reading, me and Linda Kenny Bodden, and I'm fucking stoked about it, okay? So mark that on your calendar on the 12th, 6 p.m. Now, why can't I find that? Did they take it down? There's no way they took that down. No, it's right here. Okay. All right. Let's watch this real quick. Now, my man, Mark Randazza, was on Justice Serve TV. I got to tell you, Mark Randazza is one of my favorite lawyers, if not my favorite lawyer. I just fucking love this guy. This guy beat cancer. He's in the best shape of his life. He's just a badass. And he's all about your right to free speech. So make sure to stop what you're doing and give this video a like.
issues that we have with the Massachusetts State Police from Dedham, where I wasn't a credentialed journalist, right? That overlays this whole problem. If you are not,
I find a client who wants to
stream local rule,
sorry,
that they has ruled, and
Right.
it seems to be a Massachusetts thing. They seem to think under their local rule that they can determine whether anybody can restream a hearing.
Yeah, I don't. I'd like to find a client who wants to challenge that.
Well, here's what they do. They have the rule that you have to become credentialed, and all through the underlying issues that we have with the Massachusetts State Police from Dedham, where I wasn't a credentialed journalist, right? That overlays this whole problem. If you are not credentialed under their system, you cannot restream one of the hearings that they have either Zoomed or, in this case, I recorded. Now, I recorded it there. We could restream it. We're credentialed, but everybody should be able to just take that as I'm the pool camera for streaming. Everybody can take that and do whatever in the hell they want with it.
Yeah, I represent a company called Courtroom Views Network, CVN, and they stream trials, and we always have this issue where you have to have a pool camera. Yes, you have to agree to share it with everybody else. We'll let you in, but so we don't have 50 cameras in here.
Correct.
You have to give that feed to everybody who wants it. I don't think the Massachusetts courts. See, the problem is, I don't know if you'd have, unless you had a federal claim, you'd have to get that out of the Massachusetts courts. And if there's one court system that I can tell you does not really care about making a decision that would limit their power to be censors, it's the Massachusetts state court system.
Okay, here's how we do that. All you have to do is get 4 or 5 streamers from various states, and you got diversity for federal jurisdiction, and then you just bring it into federal court there.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't talk about strategy on live camera here, but it definitely is something that I could see challenging.
I just don't get it. I don't understand the purpose. Is it a power trip? I just don't get it.
If I can watch the court, I should be able to show it to someone else. I mean, it's not like it's copyrighted. This stream here, you can claim copyright in this. You own this. But if it's government speech, there's no copyright to it. And I do not know under what authority or how they'd even enforce it. I mean, if I want to watch it and then have FaceTime, have my camera with FaceTime so that I can play it for my friends in Bangladesh, why can't they watch it?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. The court is going to overreact and say, hey, these people have been restreaming this. Our rules say you can't, so no cameras.
Well, not even that. They said on Zoom, you can't enter it unless you're a credentialed journalist. So what you had is
Thank you,
a journalist,
hey, moving forward.
entering it from another country, and then everyone picked up on it, and some people picked up, others would not pick up.
Wait, if you can enter a courtroom,
that's my thought.
That's so. What's the rules? Then you can't enter. You can't enter the Zoom because that's restricted.
Researched, but my gut tells me that that's just not something that they should be able to enforce.
Yeah.
What do they do?
No, I fully expect it's going to become an issue when they pull the plug.
Well,
somebody's going to step up and say, whoa, wait a minute.
That they can probably do. They can say we're not going to do it. Then goodbye to Zoom hearings, right? And everybody likes Zoom hearings. Yeah. I don't like them, but
yeah. Well, I thought I'd get your thoughts on that because it's been annoying me from the beginning.
Yeah.
Even though we have that credential, so what? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Right. Well, you shouldn't need a credential, like we've said at the start. You're a journalist because you're doing it. I mean, if I decide that the very first thing I want to write about as a journalist is I'm going to start my journalism career today, and I'm going to start writing about a certain case. I mean, that's happened in the past.
Sure.
Right.
And there's no doubt because of streaming and other services that it's wide open now. You don't really have that esprit de corps, that you used to back in the day. Well, I started here, and then I went here, and now I got here, and I got the hat that says press on it. I mean, those days are gone.
Right. And are we better off or not?
I think it's a little of both.
I like it to be. Look, I majored in journalism. I got a master's and a bachelor's in journalism. And I was a very unsuccessful journalist, but I did it for a little while. Arguably I still am, right? But they, I think we are better off because you can get different perspectives, rather than this sort of because there is still this club that you want to belong to among journalists. Like, for example, the White House press corps. You know how you get in there? The other journalists pick you. So, and it was very clever of the government to do this because that way, well, now they can keep out the rabble rousers, right? They can keep out the dissidents. They can keep out the people who are upstarts because it's not us making the decision. It's the already established journalists. That's, I'd rather have the government.
Well, I'll tell you another thing that will come up. Okay? We do things here as journalists. We're journalists on the show. I go into New Jersey. I practice as a lawyer, right? I can't criticize judges as a lawyer, right? I'm under the ethics rules, right? But I can criticize judges here because I'm a journalist. When does some judge say, "Wait a second, you criticize the judge another thing. I'm not going to give you a pro hoc vici, or I'm going to put you before the ethics board."
I'll tell you when you change your political affiliation, it'll happen.
Ha!
I'll let you know when it happens.
Yeah, flip your political. Go on.
Next quickly.
Put a MAGA hat. Watch how quick it happens.
I love you. You're great.
Mark, always a pleasure, buddy. Always fun, enlightening.
All right, you guys.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mark. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought that
He
was
is so
good. Never
informative.
mind.
On the
At some point, he shared his thoughts on the Don Lemon thing, and I wanted to go over them, but I don't know where they are, and so I'm not going to do that. But I need to wrap this up. There is a petty stream in the works, my friends. Yeah, I just need to take care of a couple of things, and you know, I got to take care of my my little babies, Clubber and Drago, real quick, and then yes, tonight there's absolutely a petty stream that will take place. Yeah, I know the Betero thing. I realize Betero's discussed it with, but we're already going on almost 3 hours here, and I want to just go ahead and take advantage because I'm gonna go live again. So it's and I'm still recovering here, so I don't want to be doing this all night. I'm gonna probably set it for about 45 minutes from now. All right, so 9 o'clock. We'll do 9 o'clock. Petty stream begins. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun tonight. So, anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Yeah, I gotta be honest. On a legal level, I feel like since the burden of proof is on the prosecution and they're trying to prove that Don Lemon organized this, that's what they're going to have to prove. And I think there's ways to at least argue it, but I don't know if there's enough to actually convince a jury. Because I saw a guy acting as an independent journalist for the most part, but the question is, you know, can they connect him to the protesters, and can they do that? Is it going to be enough to just show him expressing his opinions, and show him having relationships, you know, with people in the who did organize the protest? I mean, but do I agree with him busting into a church like that, him thinking it's cute, him having a complete and utter wrong? Because that's what I'm going to take away from this. My takeaway ultimately is Don Lemon's perception of what he thinks the First Amendment is and what it's for. He basically said it does exist to traumatize children. Like, not solely, but he was like, hey, whatever, that's what it exists for. And I have a hard time with that for the reasons that I explained. Do I think that he abused the First Amendment? Yeah, maybe. But the question is whether or not what he did still falls under the First Amendment or not. That's the question. So, I don't think it's really fair to compare Aiden's case to this as much as people have been. Aiden didn't bust into a church. And those churchgoers were not accused of murder. Or at least those churchgoers were not suspected of murder and not investigated, and should have been. And suspected, I mean, by the public for good reason, and not investigated. So it was necessary to shine a light on them because they covered up a cop killing. So, I mean, it's not even close to the same thing, in my opinion. Those people in that church were victimized, in my opinion. So, and I love the way that they handled it, most of them, if not all of them. And I feel bad for those kids. I feel bad for the parents of those kids. Yeah, that people have gone crazy. Just showing some love for the mighty Jay Brill. Yes, one must. Yes, one must. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in about 43 minutes. I'm going to try to aim it that way. You guys are awesome. Remember, it only takes a second to stay safe. I love you guys very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.
Watch out! Hey, you guys are in here! Hey! Help!
Today, being retarded means leading a full life. Retarded people go to work or school just like their neighbors and come back to a real home, a supervised home, right in the neighborhood where they belong. Being retarded never stopped anyone from being a good neighbor.